just got this Firebird WS6. It's pretty low mileage, it runs really well, but it does have a small problem with the headlights, and that's what we're going to show you guys how to fix today. With ours, when we unlock it and lock it, the headlights pop up and you can hear the motor making a noise. And usually that's the gears are stripped out on the motor, so we're going to be replacing them with some brass gears. And we're also going to show you how to swap out the bulbs for LED bulbs. First step is you have to pop the hood. And then, this is also the same on a C4, a C5, anything with pop-up headlights from GM pretty much. You're going to take this cap off, just set it somewhere where you don't lose it, and then you're going to turn it to the left, and then you turn it until the headlight is all the way popped up. Now we're going to take off the shroud and we're going to remove the headlight bulb. There's a screw here and here, and then there's also two on the other side, one here and one here. I'm just going to use the drill to get them off. This car is super clapped, so we're missing a screw there. It just slides out like that, but nothing really special to it. So next, we're gonna unclip this. It'll just slide off. Just get it out the way so we can access these 3 bolts that hold it on here. And then we also have to get this nut off right here that attaches it to this bracket. I'm just gonna use a 10mm on an electric ratchet with a 10mm wrench. I like to just put the nut and the bolt together so that way I don't lose them. Usually don't set all the stuff here because it tends to fall, but I don't care. Ignore that. For this clip, it's just like this, pretty simple. I'll put some heat into it now to break up the plastic weld that holds this cap on, and under this cap will be the gear that we need to replace with this brass gear right here. I found that prying right here with the flathead screwdriver. It's the best way to break the seal. It takes quite a bit of force, and it's gonna sound like you broke it, but you didn't, unless you did. That's what it looks like on the underside. It's just a small groove that holds it in. Here's our old gear. You can see this giant groove right there where I was skipping. It's kind of hard to see on camera, but it's quite a big divot. And it's just kind of all around this gear. And then a lot of the older pop-up headlight models, the gear would split in half because it was a little bit thinner, because it was press fit onto this rod right here. But this one's a little different. That one's more like the C4 era. And then this one is the same motor that's in the C5 and all the 4th gen Firebirds. And then you want to put this in right here. There's some grooves for it to sit in, and it just slides on this gear like that. And then you want to make sure these are lined up as you're putting it on. With this specific set, it's a pretty tight fit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a socket and I'm going to put it right here, and then make sure this part's open on the bottom and just tap it on. I've got the gear set in here. It's just on my table vise, and I'm just going to tap it in with a hammer with this socket. You can see that it's going in more, and then these grooves are going to line up with those grooves on there. And then you just make sure it's fully seated. Now I'm just going to clean up all this old grease out of here just with a flat screwdriver. It doesn't have to be perfect. And then I have a new pack of grease right here. It just came with the kit. And I'm just gonna spread this along all the teeth of the gear, and then I'm gonna put it on the bottom of the gear so it just reduces friction a little bit on that plastic, make it last a little longer. Alright, now I'm gonna put this gear in. There's a little bit of play in here, and this kit comes with some little washers, like plastic washers, so I'm gonna put those in to eliminate that play, just make it last as long as possible. I'm just gonna slip one right over the top of this gear, and then right on the bottom as well. I'm just gonna put the cover back on. And then I'm gonna hold it pretty tight like it'll be in the car. Just make sure it's spinning good. It spins pretty slow, but I can feel that it's spinning good. So now I'm gonna take this cover back off right here and just set it down like that. The kit came with some super glue, so that's just what I'm gonna use. I'm just gonna put it all around the edge and do my best not to get it on my finger, but I'm definitely going to get a ton on my fingers. Now I'm going to take the cover and I'm just going to put it on exactly how it was. Then I'm going to quickly put it in the table vise. And then I'm going to put this C-clamp on top. Just try and get an even amount of force across the whole thing. Doesn't have to be perfect. Not a whole lot of pressure. Now that we got the motor all dried up, I'm gonna put this brace on the back just to help hold this together. Just in case the super glue isn't strong enough. It also came in the kit. And then I'm just gonna put it in reverse of how I took it out. Wait, hold on in the other. Boom. Alright, now that we've got the motor back in, you just plug it back in, clip up the harness where it was. Actually do it the right way though. Put it there, and now we're going to show you how to do the headlight bulbs. That was pretty much all the motor stuff. So, yeah. So to remove the headlight bulb, we have 2 screws on the top, one here and one here. And we also have 2 screws on the bottom. They're kind of hard to reach, but there's one here and one here. We're going to remove those to get rid of the headlight bulb, only to give us a little more room, and because we're going to be replacing the bulb anyway. The bulb just pulls out like this. You just unplug it. On this adapter harness, we're going to put the black to the green, the red to the pink, and then the yellow to the black. And then we'll just be able to hook it up to the light we have. And one of them is just for ground, and then the other 2 are to power the brights and the low beams. And then ours just plugs in straight up like that.